Hello, this is Shanker, and there has been a lot of articles, etc., on the divorce of Kajol and Ajay Devgan. In fact, my wife was mentioning Kajol is going to divorce. Why don't you have a look at the horoscopes? I said, "Chalo, dekhte hain bhai." So, what I've taken is the details of Kajol, and the details I have, which is from the Astro Data Bank, uh, which is 5/8/1964, born at 2021 at Bombay. 5/8/1964, 5/8. So the chart here. So let's look at the chart here. 5/8/1964, 2021 at Bombay seems to be too precise, but I'm not very sure about the birth details, but I'm quite confident that it is 5/8/1964. So as far as her chart is concerned, at the moment she's running the Ketu. The chart is like you have the Lagna. Lagna is Aquarius. Aquarius has Saturn in it, and then you have fourth house Jupiter, which is Taurus. You have a conjunction of Venus, Moon, Mars, and Rahu. In the fifth house, which is Gemini, we have Sun in Cancer. Leo has Mercury in it, and then you have Ketu, which is in the Sagittarius, which is the 11th house. So that is how the 9 planets are placed. She's running the dasha of Ketu, Mercury. Now, looking at the horoscope without going into details, Saturn in Lagna doesn't always do good. It doesn't really do good for your decisions which you take in your professional life. Decisions always taken for your profession will go wrong, and that is one thing which I've seen, which is very, very, very stable, and it happens in all the cases. Mercury in the 7th house. Mercury is a planet which is alone. It wavers. It's like a boy. It will say yes, it will say no. It tends to spoil things. So Mercury in 7th house is not very good. And my view is, whenever Mercury is there in the 7th house, with my experience of astrology, whenever Mercury is alone in any house, it creates problem for that particular house. It is not good for the house which it is there, or the sign of that particular house. Mercury alone, gives you everything but doesn't give you anything. Whereby now it is placed in 7th house, Mercury. So it might have given her a marriage, but there is no happiness in the marriage. Nothing comes out of the marriage. And at the end of the day, I'm not saying there must not have been good periods, bad periods, nice periods. All that would have happened. But at the end of the day, when she sits down and thinks about a marriage, she'll feel, what was the use? Kya fayda? Shadi se koi fayda nahi hua. That is what Mercury does in 7th house. It gives you a feeling of dispassion. It gives you a feeling of, despite doing so much, you don't get much. Despite doing so much, you don't get as much. You don't gain out of it. You're not recognized for it. You are not adulated. आपकी शाबाशी नहीं होती, आपको फ़ायदा नहीं होता है. तो ये देता है मर्करी जब भी अकेला होता है. It gives you a feeling कि despite everything, and despite giving so much, you don't get that much. बहुत कम मिलता है. It gives a feeling of kind of, I'm not getting the right words. एक आदमी को एक खालीपन, एक महसूस होता है कि फ़ायदा नहीं है कुछ को करने से. इससे कुछ मिला नहीं. इतना मैंने करा मगर मैं कुछ मिला नहीं. That is what Mercury does when it is in any houses. Here Mercury is in 7th house, and it is aspected by Saturn. Saturn is the friend of Mercury. And then you have Venus, Mars, Moon, and Rahu in the 5th house. Whenever so many planets are in the 5th house and they are 11th from the 7th house, so they're good for live things. Venus and Mars is luxuries. Moon and Rahu is also, giving you sudden money, sudden finances, because Moon rules a lot of things, and Moon Rahu is bad for some things, good For live things, it is always good. So this combination of me, Venus, Mars, Moon and Rahu, Venus and Mars together, Moon and Mars together, Venus and Moon together, are generally good, which shows that the husband would earn money and would have a life which is, which has had a lot of relationships for sure, but that's a part of life today, especially in that industry. So you'll have relationships, emotional turmoils, not feeling very, happy with things, seeking outside, seeking luxuries. आप बाहर की वैभव में अपना सुकून चाहते हैं. That is, that kind of thing which is there. So, it gives you those kinds of things which is there, which more particular for her husband. But that's for sure that her husband would be finding peace and solace at some other place, kind of relationships which are there. He could, put the word, somebody should sue me tomorrow. He could be in a relationship, he will be in a relationship, and that's the bone of contention. Having said all this, coming to the issue of divorce, a very important thing in the horoscope is right. Then Jupiter is in the 4th house, and also Jupiter is in Taurus. That is from the Chandra Lagna. Jupiter is from the Chandra, from the Moon. Jupiter is in the 12th house. So there's a combination of 2, 4 and 12 kind of a thing which is there, which comes, if I take the time as right, but assuming the time is not right, then Jupiter is in the 12th house. Jupiter in the 12th house is good. Jupiter in the 12th house protects a lot of things. Jupiter in the 12th house, it's his house of, it's a very, my experience is Jupiter in 12th house will not make you do anything which is drastically wrong. So what I feel is, despite all these turmoils which have started by 2025, things would settle. I do not see a divorce happening in their case. For sure, I'm very clear. I'm very, very clear that a divorce will not happen. Divorce is not on the cards. In fact, things would become better by beginning of 2025, and there is a turmoil till about November, December 2023 November, December of 2023. After that, things would become better, and by 2025 there would be a lot of reconciliation, and things would become much better. So my view is no divorce for Kajol astrologically, as far as Shanker Adawal is concerned. There would be a compromise. There could be Ketu is there, so there could be some kind of division which happens in terms of how you stay. I mean, you make some rules of staying together, and that would be mainly because of the children. And of course, I see the children getting very much affected in the whole horoscope, because that is one thing which should be taken into account, is the impact it can have on its children. It will have its impact on children in terms of their whole thinking process, the mindset process. But I do not see a thing like divorce which could happen in their case. At least it's just a very bad phase till April 24. And as soon as April 24 passes out, things will be better. I hope nothing happens till April 24. My view is there'll be ups and downs, or discussions, there could be, fights, there could be emotional turmoils, there would be blame games. I think everything can happen till April 24, but after April 24, things would get sorted out for sure. But period till April 24 is bad for Kajol. So that is my take. And by now, as we talk a day or two later, things would start get into a discussion mode. Things will start getting into a discussion mode where they will start talking about how to save the marriage. So net a very tough period till April 24. Marriage, worst is over. 2-3 days down the line, thought process will change for sure. And also I do not see divorce happening in their case. Yes, there would be a little kind of a breakdown, there would be a little cutting of things in the way they function in the marriage. That's about all. So I don't, nothing to worry, and 2025 onwards, things will be again very fine. So no divorce as far as I'm concerned, whatever the media may say. As far as Kajol's horoscope is concerned, even if her date, which I have told you, is 5th of August 1964. This is correct. I stand by my prediction. Turmoil, bad period till April 24. Next week, 10 days, things would start, moving in the positive direction. Yes, the husband would be in some kind of relationships, emotional turmoil. He would be finding emotions at other places. He might not be, a kind of involvement nobody can say, but yes, an emotional involvement is on the cards. But things would get corrected, and after April 24, things will be good. After a week, 10 days time, positive thinking will start happening, discussions will start happening, and I do not see divorce. Reason being, the most prime reason being that prestige should not be affected. Yes, they should take care of their children, which is important in terms of their mindset, and focus more on the children, because I see problems there at a later stage. Despite the marriage getting saved, I don't see a divorce happening for sure. Let me see if my prediction comes right. Thanks. Bye for now.